Okay, so next speaker is Gerard Corbella from Tàrrega. He comes from the private sector. Actually, he has a company that provides service at the heritage institutions. And he's here mainly because he's doing his PhD in artificial intelligence and related to human rights archives. So, floor is yours.
Thank you very much. As Luis said some days ago, sorry for my English. I speak Catalan English. Not that's probably the rest of the people will understand perfectly. And thank you a lot for the organizers and the Archiu Històric Municipal de Girona. Thank you a lot, because it's very interesting these days to be here these days. Well, I think I will put in my head two hats. One hat as a PhD student, and another hat is as owner of a company that helps cultural institutions to put online the cultural heritage, right? So the first part of the presentation will be focused in my research. Well, my PhD is have an initial idea, and this initial idea is that the public or users of the archives, of the online archives, used to search what they need, or used to search what Google and other potential searchers ens ha acostumat, no? Com diríem? Sí, the way that the Google uses to do searches. So users used to look for names, used to look for dates, looks to search for themes, but archival science used not to extract data from every document, and that's normal. Anyway, every day, there are big demand on that kind of projects, like online databases and search engines that links documents to the users, but the users don't look for the document, used to look for data like the name or dates or themes. Not an example. If a veure, això funciona? Sí, aquí. On és el buscador? Aquí? No. Aquí? Yeah.
Oh, no. Go back to Chrome.
Uh-huh.
Chrome, like down there in the bar.
Sí.
Yeah, and then
I un altre, a veure. Aquí, for example. No?
go to Edge again.
Edge?
Yeah.
Ah, okay. Sorry. Okay, this is the bigger online archives in Spain. I think it's InterPARES. It's from the culture minister, and they did this sub-portal to search the victims of the Spanish Civil War. And you can search here, for example, you can look, for example, for this person. You have a lot of results. You can look, for example, for Arjona, sorry. For this person, and you have one result, okay, and if you click here, what you have is, okay, we have some documents in the archives, and if you want something, you can contact us, or you can go to the archives, or you can write us, and we think that we have some information about this person. This is normally, the people does not expect this kind of results. What the people expect is document, not normally. So, coming back to my presentation, in human rights archives, the need to search names, dates, etc. is, I think it's evident. And I put here just 3 examples of 3 different laws in 3 different countries that talks about it. For example, in Guatemala, there is one of the most important human rights archives, the National Police Historical Archives, that have the proof, the evidence of the genocide. And the laws of post-conflict says that it's compulsory to publish the names of every victim, okay? Recently in Spain, there's a new memory law that says that the publication of names have to be linked to a primary search, okay? So, of course, you can publish a name, but you have to demonstrate that this is a victim, and we have a proof here linked to the name of every victim. And the Arolsen archives, the biggest human rights archives in Europe, says the Berlin Treaty says that the names have to be published online and linked to the documents, right? Also, the international humanitarian law says that these kind of archives, of this kind of institutions, what they have to do is to promote truth, justice, reparation, and guarantees of non-recurrence. And for the promotion of truth and for the promotion of reparation, what they have to do too is to publish the names, and to publish the names linked to the documents. So, for example, we know that in Guatemala, these are around these numbers of estimated victims. In Spain, still we don't know how many victims we have during the Spanish Civil War and during the Franco's dictatorship. And in Arolsen archives, they know that they have around 17.5 million of victims all over Europe, because they have been working a lot from 1944 since today. For example, Arolsen Archives does a project that's called Every Name Counts, but my question is it possible to put every name online, and if it's possible to do by hand, because to extract data from I don't know, 70 million of cars link it to the documents. Well, UNESCO archives have a big challenge, but this is a big challenge too, I think. Well, during my PhD, what I studied is these different 5 cases. One is in Catalonia, the Democratic Memory is an institution of the Catalan government that's focused in the human rights. Arolsen Archives, Yad Vashem, the project from the Defense Minister of France, Mémoire des Hommes, and the Argentinian National Memory Archive. I studied what, if they respect the archival principles, if they look the archives through the humanitarian law principles, and if they publish, if they respect the FAIR principles, okay? And finally, if they use any of this artificial intelligence, basically to detect, to extract names and to annotate documents, okay? Well, the results are the majority of them does not use still today artificial intelligence, but these projects are doing proof of concepts with artificial intelligence. So the path is very long, and all these institutions have long things to do. Preliminary conclusions from my research are that these institutions they focus it on humanitarian international law, yeah. They respect archival principles. Fair data is not applied everywhere. IE is still not running inside the institutions, outside probably, yeah. And majority of them have not any link between names and primary sources, okay. And finally, what I want to show is how we can resolve it as a company, or how we used to resolve it as a company, okay? This is a, I don't know if we have, no. This is a website that we made this, we finished it this year for the regional government of Navarre. And in this case, we linked every victim with every document, okay? And for example, I look for this name in the portal of the Spanish archives, Vicente Ajona, and here, if I write it, Vicente Ajona, we have some different information about this person. We know that he's been killed during the Spanish Civil War, and we have some documents that are the evidence of these people is killed during the Spanish Civil War. And we have some other documents like excerpts of interviews talking about the death of this person. So the interviews are also primary searches. And finally, I think I have 2 minutes. I want to show you how we deal with these searches inside our database. For example, if I take a look at the document, here I have this document that's linked to this person. I have it here. I have OCR of the document here. In this document, we have different names, okay? And we extract this to the transcription. And finally, we have a reference of every victim that is inside this document. And we can do it thanks to the OCR techniques, and because we have, I think, a very good database that can structure names and publish it the way we want. What happens with the interviews? Happens more or less the same. We have a huge amount of interviews here. I think we have around 160 with around 1,200 excerpts of interviews, and all these excerpts are linked to every person. We have, for example, here different names. And if we look for this man, bueno, no sé cómo es busca aquí. And for example, if you're looking for this man, here is the index of the interview related to every name. So the idea of that kind of projects are that we can link primary sources to the names of the victims, and we can extract from the documents the names of the victims. We are doing this more or less manually, and we are in a research project trying to develop artificial intelligence tools to integrate in our platform, and I hope that we will have results during this year to incorporate these AI tools in our database. And that's all. If you want to know about our database, you have here information about the platform. It's called Develo. It's open source, so everybody, if wants to download the software, is available for everybody. We are developing a new version with some AI tools integrated, and if you want to use it, it's free of use, and all the documentation about the software, about the API to publicate, and all the documentation is here. Thank you a lot.
Okay, thank you, Gerard. This is a very specific case, and I think it makes clear how we can benefit from AI. So we expect to have news from this project very soon.